Well, it's day 5. You know the drill by now. Wake up before the butt crack of dawn. Check. Marvel at amazing hair. Check. Make coffee. Check. Eat Pop-Tart. Check. I arrived at my stand in the dark and prepared for day 5's hunt. It was nice, but warming up and windy. As per usual, the morning sunrise was beautiful and worth every minute of waiting. I'll spare you the boring details of the first couple of hours and we'll get straight to the action. There's the action. Well, that was fun. But I don't have any video of what just happened. So what I'm going to do is recreate it for you. So as you can see, I'm sitting in my stand at the ridge. I'm going to flip the camera real quick. That's my view. And as you can see, there's plenty of clearing for taking a shot. However, deer did not read my mind. And so I was sitting here and I heard them coming. And of course, they came from back there. And they came from down in the ridge. And there's some oak trees that are just dropping some amazing acorns, or from my southern friends and family, acorns, just right there behind me, maybe 10 yards. And they were munching along, and she was kind of making her way from here to here. She got to right about there. And the wind is kind of swirly. She may have caught my scent, but I don't think so. She may have seen me because I was trying to move into position to shoot her at that point, hoping that she would kind of walk out into there. But about right there, she spooked. And then she made her way back to right there, which, as you can see, there is a hickory tree, very inconveniently placed. But somehow I found a window amongst all of that stuff and pulled the trigger. And to the best of my knowledge, she ran off with a crossbow bolt in her side. I think it was a good hit, and she ran probably 150 to 200 yards right back in there somewhere. And I heard her stop running, so I'm hoping she's laid down up there nice and comfy and dying. And my cabin is about right there, and I was really hoping to go start a little campfire and hang out there and wait for her to die. But I'm afraid I'll spook her if I go up there because she's not too far away from the cabin. So I'm going to sit here in the deer stand for a little bit and hoping that maybe a big buck stops by. And maybe this time one will stand there. Anyway, updates are coming. Alright, so we've got a little bit of blood. A little bit of a trail here on the other side of the ravine from behind me. I have not found my bolt yet. I think she ran off with the bolt inside her body. So I'm thinking that's probably going to limit the amount of blood we see on the ground, but hopefully I can follow it to Nice fat doe laid in the leaves back here, and I can see my cabin from here, which is nice. This is the kind of terrain I'm going to be tracking in. As I continued to track the blood trail, I began to worry that this was not going to turn out the way I wanted it to. I was seeing some pretty good blood. I did find my bolt about 100 yards from my stand. My heart sank when I saw that it only had blood on the first 4 inches or so. I followed the trail until it went completely dry. As I crawled around on my hands and knees, searching for any signs of hope, I gave up and prepared to make my way back to Mossy Meadows, head hanging low, very frustrated. Well, that was frustrating. Shot a doe at 9 o'clock. It is 12:30 and the blood trail is dry. I hate that feeling. It's a good close shot. I think either it was a bad shot, which I don't really feel like it was, or my equipment's just not good enough. It's if you can't put an arrow or a bolt through a deer at 10 yards, then something's not right. That bolt went in 4 inches maybe. So I've tracked her for nearly 3 hours. Well, 3 hours. And I don't think I bumped her or anything. I just don't think she ever stopped. Actually, I didn't track her for 3 hours. I tracked her since about 10:15. So I'm gonna go home, repack, and go to the lake and see if I can do better up there. And I think I'll use my compound. I don't think I'm gonna use that crossbow anymore. I thought it would be interesting to kill one with a crossbow because I've never done it before. But it's not been interesting and it's not been fun, and I've had my fill of the M&Ms of hunting, which are mistakes, missed opportunities, miscalculations, misguided expectations, you name it. It's not been good. It's pissing me off. Oh boy. Now that the anger and frustration has faded somewhat, I can look at this all with a much clearer head. It's amazing to me what adrenaline can do to your perception in times of extreme excitement and or stress. Looking back, of course that was not a shot I should have taken. I would wager that desperation had taken its toll and I had replayed all the prior missed opportunities in my head and decided to risk it. I believe my assertion that the doe was quote-unquote broadside was just plain wrong. She was more quartering away from me, which further limited my good shot opportunities. In my post-hunt talking head there in the Bronco, I blamed my equipment. I know now that in trying to squeeze a shot through that narrow window, I failed to take into account her quartering away position, and I hit a muscle, likely the back leg. The arrow is proof enough of that for me. Over the past 5 days, I'd passed on a shot I should have taken due to a case of overcaution and was watching my week dwindle away. I took this hasty, risky shot, and now there was a wounded deer walking around. My only consolation is that I'm fairly confident this was not a mortal wound and that she's still out there walking around. As someone who seeks the quickest, most ethical kill, this does not feel good at all, because probably I know deep within my heart that I compromised that ethic, and now I regret it. The situation was made worse by the knowledge that my haste and poor decision-making was to blame. I think this serves as a reminder that we all make mistakes. We all fall short of that goal, and we don't feel good about it when the consequences arise. But the best thing we can do is to learn from these mistakes and move forward. And when we have the opportunity to make the same mistakes again, we do things differently.